Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and this is our daily show. We're going to be talking about the NBA slate on January 8th. Monday, we've got 6 games, and the board is like relatively updated and refreshed. We do have some fantasy score options at this point, but we grabbed 4 picks for you. There's still some plays I wish were on the board that are not yet. But yeah, we have nothing to recap, so we're just going to get right into these 4 plays we have for you. Before we do, though, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code at the bottom of the screen, and they'll double your first deposit up to $100. They're going to match whatever you put on, so if you do deposit the whole $100, you'll get $200 to play with. Just use our code, and they will hook you up. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. You'll want your notifications on because these plays move so fast on us. Especially for the daily show. They've already moved twice on us before we even started recording. So if you want to jump on these plays quick, just make sure your notifications are on as well. And if you guys appreciate what we're doing here at the channel, if you don't mind just liking the video, it's been awesome. We're really excited to keep expanding in 2024, and we couldn't do it without your help. The likes have been huge for getting us in front of a larger audience, so we really appreciate it, guys. So we're just going to jump right into these plays. Both of my plays are going to be fantasy score props. To get us started, I'm going to be taking Jaylen Williams here for over 31 fantasy score. He's pretty consistent in this category because he's such a good defender. This line is set a little higher than it typically is, but I like him to get this done against Washington. We do have a potential blowout, so if you're uncomfortable, just fade this play. But I like him to get this done before things get too out of hand. And you're rolling the dice whenever you are calling a blowout with the Washington Wizards because, I mean, I would say 50-50, if not more often than that, they just stay in the game because they don't have good defense at all, but they have good offense. They legit do. So we have a 246.5 over under with the Thunder favored by 11.5 points. So the spread is screaming blowout, but yeah, just keep that in mind if you're uncomfortable. I'm willing to roll the dice on this because I know the Wizards can stay in these games. If we take a look at Jaylen Williams on Outlier, they don't have fantasy scores, so I'm going to break it down with PRA and blocks and steals. But in his last 2 games, he's gone for 30 PRA. He stayed pretty consistent. This is actually, these 2 games where he didn't hit are actually somewhat of outlier games for him. He had less minutes and whatnot. You can kind of see the trend, just his production following the trends of minutes. And his last 2 games, he's been right in that 35 minute per game range. But we really love this matchup here. They are, anytime we talk about Washington, they're 30th across the board, 30th in points allowed, rebounds allowed, assists allowed. So really great matchup for him. If we go to shooting guard specifically, it's just a little different with the points allowed. They're 10th, so they are a little bit better against shooting guards. But when we jump over to the blocks and steals, this is where he's going to make us he's going to score for us a lot on fantasy score, because for every block and every steal, you get 3 points on Prize Picks. So that's why we like going to fantasy score so often, because really you're looking for defensive players if you're taking fantasy score. Otherwise, you might as well just take the PRA. But if we look at this matchup, steals and blocks allowed, we got 26th and 20th in the league. So they give it up a lot. So I'm feeling good about him going over here. If we hop over to Daily Grind, let me update this because this was before it moved on me. It moved half a point, but I'm staying with them. Yeah, they still have a juice to go over at 31. And they have it at just under 52% odds to hit. And across the board, the other odds makers have it at a 50-50-ish shot because they have it a little higher than 31. They have it at like 31.7, 31.6. But I'm not too concerned about that as far as the odds makers projecting fantasy score, because I really feel good about his defense. He's probably their best defender on OKC. So I think he'll be good to hit 31 or more for us tonight. And my next play is also fantasy score, and I'm going to be taking Jaylen Williams. Sorry, Jaylen Williams. The other Jaylen Brown. I'm going to be taking him for over 42 fantasy score. I like him to hit this. I know that if you just, at first look, it doesn't look like he's hit this that much, but I feel really good about him going over this against Indiana. I think Indiana's going to be bringing it after just getting shut down in that last game. We have a 244 over under with the Celtics favored by 3.5, and we don't have any Jason Tatum tonight. So back to Outlier. They don't have fantasy score, so I'm going to break it down the same way, mostly PRA with this one. But if you look at his PRA is set at 38.5. So if he hits that, that will put us over the mark on fantasy score, because assists you get 1.5, rebounds you get 1.2. So if he's going over it on PRA at 38.5, he should be well over the 42. But if you look at this, it looks like he's not hitting it that often. But if we jump over here and see what he's done without Jason Tatum in the game, his production is like through the roof. He's the man who takes over when Tatum is out, and we know Tatum is out tonight. So I expect the Pacers to make this a game, and without Tatum, they should have a better odds of keeping this close or even winning the game, because he was just terrorizing last game. He did most of the scoring. He was good on defense as well. But with him out tonight, I think Brown's going to be the one to step it up. I also looked at Derek White, if you're interested in checking out other props. But Derek White without Tatum only has like really 2 good recent games. And we were taking advantage of those plays when Tatum was out. But yeah, I like Brown tonight over White. And if we look at the matchup here, against small forwards specifically, they're 29th in points allowed, 29th in rebounds allowed, 22nd in assists allowed. So I think it's just they're going to need Brown to have a really good game in order to win this game. Let me update this as well, since I had taken it earlier. All right, yeah, so even at 42, they do still have his fantasy score odds to hit on the over. It's pretty much 50-50, but my main reason for taking this is when we see what he's done when Tatum is out, he's the guy. So I like him to go over that tonight as well. So those are going to be my 2 fantasy score. We got Jaylen Williams fantasy score over, Jaylen Brown fantasy score over. What do you got for us, Jordy?
Yeah, man, to get me into mine here. I actually have 2 fantasy score props also. This was kind of inadvertent. We just both like these fantasy scores tonight. But I like to get me started, I like Zubac to go over 28.5 fantasy score. He's been awesome these last 2 games. They're finally I think realizing a little bit like how important he could be for this team. We've been talking a lot about when he goes anything over 30 minutes, he's in double-digit rebounds and double-digit points, and he gets a ton of blocks and steals. So I think with the game he had last night, they should obviously want to play him tonight, so he should get a little bit more time tonight. I like his fantasy score to go over. I took it last night in this game in just one of my YOLO slips, and he killed it. He had 19 rebounds and 22 points against the Lakers. And if you look at his blocks and steals, he had 1 block in that game also. So I like him tonight in this matchup. I think they're gonna need him, in this game against Phoenix. We'd taken this before. In the last game against Phoenix, he had 3 games ago. He didn't play a lot. So if you guys don't like this, don't take it. That game was crazy though. Like, I will say that if you guys watched that game, we kind of talked about it. Him and Nurk didn't do anything in that game because every shot that the Clippers took went in. And I think the rebounds were like super lopsided. Like, the Clippers guards all had like crazy amounts of rebounds, and the Suns like out rebounded them somehow. It was just a weird game. But I like him tonight. I think they're going to use him a lot tonight. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. If you don't like it, fade it. I know that this was a bad matchup like 3 games ago, but I think both these guys are going to bounce back tonight. Him and Nurk both, I think they're going to get a lot of time. So I like him to go over this. He does really well in PRA when he gets the time. You can just see right here. It's it's in the stats. Like, when he gets a good amount of minutes, he kills this. Like, anything over 30 minutes, 15 points, 20 rebounds. 31 minutes, 18 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists. like he's awesome. If you look at his blocks and steals, he's pretty consistent in this as well. He's at least going to get you 1 block or steal, and sometimes he goes over that and gets 2 or 3. So I like the fantasy score option at 28.5. I think that's pretty low for him. In that game last night against the Lakers, he almost went for 50. And against the Pelicans, he went for 32, and he only played 23 minutes in that game. So he's very capable of getting this done, even on low minutes. So I like the fantasy score at 28.5 or over. And then for my next one, I'm going to be taking, in that same game, I'm going to go with Grayson Allen for over 25. This is really low for him. He's done this in 8 out of 10 games, and he's awesome. I mean, if you look at his PRA is nothing, crazy. Like he averages about 20 PRA. But, if you look at the matchup here, it's a pretty good matchup. They're 25th in points allowed to shooting guards, and they're giving up 15 rebounds and 15 assists a game, or they're ranked 15th in rebounds and assists a game. They're giving up 7.7 rebounds and 6.1 assists. I think his scoring wise, he's going to do really well tonight. If you look at the last time they matched up, he went for 17 PRA, and he actually ended up just barely missing this at 24.3. I think it was because of a turnover. So I like him to go over this with his history of going over this. And if you look at his blocks and steals, he's awesome in this category. He's a very good defender. He averages about 2 blocks and steals per game, and he goes for 3 and 4 a lot. Like if you look at his last 20 games, it just shows the consistency in this guy's defense. So I really like him to go over this. I think 25 is just kind of low. So these are my 2 plays, and I feel really good about these.
I do too, man. I feel solid about all 4 of these. And honestly, like I love playing fantasy score for, I like it for football too, but it's just really the only option that gives you everything on both sides of the ball from offense to defense. So if you just like someone to have a really good overall performance, fantasy score is really fun to jump into. Something you guys can keep an eye on as well is Vucevic for the Bulls is a game time decision. It's looking like he's leaning towards playing, but something I'm going to be keeping an eye on is if for some reason he is ruled out, I'm going to jump on. I'm going to keep an eye on it and jump on and see if they end up giving us Drummond rebounds. I was really hoping for that play today because if Vooch is out, even if Drummond's rebounds are up at like 15, like I'll be taking the over there because he just dominates when Vooch is out. But I mean, yeah, just definitely don't take it unless Vooch is out. That's not an official play. That's just giving you guys a little bit of extra value of something that we'll be looking at.
Yeah, I was gonna mention too. I was looking in that Suns game, and it says KD's a game time decision with a rest, and Eric Gordon's a game time decision with right knee soreness, leaning towards not playing. So that helps Grayson a lot. Absolutely,
I'm all over that Grayson Allen play if Eric Gordon is out. And if KD is out. So yeah, guys, just keep that stuff on your radar. Have a great Monday night. We don't have football, so just enjoy basketball. And if you're interested in checking out our Discord, there is a link in the description of the video. We'll be in there making slips. We've got 2 other analysts in there as well who will be posting plays. We just kind of all hang out in there most of the day and just kind of chat back and forth and share plays we're getting into. But if you want to check it out, if you like doing Discord type stuff, there's a link in the description of the video. And if you want to check out the tools from Daily Grind, they're our official partner. So they're giving all of our viewers 25% off if you use code BACKDOOR. So for all first-time users, you can get 25% off of any of their tools. They have a lot of really good tools over there. We use the DFS optimizer like every day for research, for looking for plays. It kind of like points us in the right direction of where we're going to start building out our slips. But then we also use it to confirm our plays once we build a narrative around why player. But if you're interested in checking that out, there's a link in the description of the video, and yeah, you can get 25% off with code BACKDOOR. Cool. That's going to do it, guys. We'll see you tonight for another NBA video, but have a great Monday, and we will catch you later tonight.
Good luck, guys.